Stellar to implement the Lightning Network. Hong Kong Stock Exchange eyes its entry into blockchain. Manny Pacquiao shills an ICO. Gibraltar regulator announces a stunning 200 ICOs ready to go online. The People's Bank of China welcomes a Bitcoin evangelist. And links discovered between the Petro crypto and Russia. We've got all your headlines mixed with some daily market analysis. I'm Elio Trades, and your FUD TV Daily Update starts now. Diving in, we can see Bitcoin dominance sitting here just under 44%, down slightly over the past few days, but we are up in total market cap above the 342 billion range. That is good to see, as we've been hovering around the low 300s, dipping under 300 over the last few days, and really springing off that floor of $275 billion, as we can see Bitcoin up with a nice gain of 5% here, up to about 8,800, just about rubbing its nose on the $9,000 mark. As we know, Bitcoin has had some trouble getting over that 12K mark. So as it builds past 10K, we can look for 12K to really be that key point of resistance. Ethereum making a bit of gains. As we can see, Ethereum has really been knocked back from its highs of about 1,500 just a few weeks ago. We see Ripple here at 71 cents. And as we go, really the biggest gainers and losers here in the top 100 are Bitcoin Dark, GX Chain, and Quantum. Quantum having two very good days in a row. It's 23% up on the day, but as we can see, its week chart is very much so staggeringly good looking. Of course, the story of the day is Stellar announcing Lightning Network, but as you can see, it hasn't done a tremendous amount to over-index over the other coins in the top 10. As you can see, its neighbors Cardano, Neo, EOS, and IOTA are really clocking almost identical gains in this sort of 12 to 14% range. And of course, Monero here sitting pretty at about an 8% gain. Biggest losers in the top 100 are Electroneum, VeChain, Factom, and Smart Cash. As you can see, they're all less than 2% losses. This is a very good sign. It shows that the market is growing and is having a healthy day. So as we cruise down the biggest gainers and losers, we like to look for the ones with the biggest volume. And as we can see, Quantum is the biggest gainer, if you will. And after that, we have Triggers, Gas, IoT Chain, GX Chain, and 0x. As we can see, there's actually quite a few big coins here in the biggest gainers, and that's good to see, because when you have big coins having big gains, that means the market's moving as a whole in a positive direction. The biggest losers are Inc., Electronic PK Chain, Ash, Tidex, Bodhi, Animation Vision Cash, and Car Vertical. Obviously, Car Vertical just recently partnered with BMW, which led to a nice pump. There's quite a bit of gaining happening by big coins, which is good to see here. In our lead story of the day, we're going to be talking about how Stellar is going in on the Lightning Network, which is very exciting if you're holding Stellar Lumen, and could be very scary if you're not holding Stellar Lumen or invested in one of its competitors. I know a lot of people were very surprised when Stellar announced that it will be hosting DApp development. It will be an ICO platform back in December. That was quickly followed up by the announcement of some very cool apps coming out on Stellar, such as apps that have left Ethereum and decided to move over and start building on Stellar. And this is even one more brick in the wall, showing why they are making good decisions, and Stellar is going to be a scalable and reliable platform for the future. While we do know that there are scaling solutions happening for most platforms, and I am truly a believer that all platforms will figure out these scaling issues. As we see, Lightning Network was not developed for Stellar, but is being ported over to Stellar. So clearly, these geniuses of software engineering are able to manipulate and take great code like Lightning Network code and manipulate it so it can work for other decentralized networks. We're hoping that since this is true for Stellar, other Lightning-esque solutions can come in and have great success at scaling platforms like Neo and Ethereum. We need our DApp networks to scale. That's the simple reality of it. If we want banking or truly fast encrypted messaging apps, we're really going to need the transaction speed to be significantly higher than it is today. Expanding on this point, Jed McCaleb, the founder and CEO of Stellar Lumens, explained that scalability is one of our primary focuses over the next year. Hype tends to exceed the reality in the blockchain space. Visions are big. The thing is, the tech can't actually realize what people want today. One of the most notable examples of a project that has left Ethereum for more scalability is the HKEX app. But even Stellar acknowledges that their partner in IBM has ambitious plans to use banks on the network, and they know that this is going to require significantly higher scalability and processing times and require significantly more transactions per second. So hopefully the implementation of Lightning will solve all of the above. Jed McCaleb does explain that since this product has been sort of tested and developed in Bitcoin land, they now can stand on the heels of those geniuses that came. They can stand on they now can stand on the shoulders of the geniuses that came before them and modify the code so that it will work with the Stellar network. They do acknowledge this is going to be difficult, but they are setting a release date for sometime in 2018. We'll let you know as this story progresses, as we are very much so bullish on Stellar Lumen on this channel. We're very much so bullish on big ICO platforms, and it seems like Stellar is doing what's necessary to potentially dominate that game. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange is seeking consultation from the Australian Stock Exchange for how to implement blockchain successfully, as Australia is one of the first, if not the only, stock exchange to actually do so. The executive of the Hong Kong Exchange, Charles Lee, said, "We will be using blockchain for stock borrowing, lending, and some types of over-the-counter trades," adding that the exchange wants to use blockchain where nobody wants to spend the money to do anything, but where the exchange can come out and say, let's use the cheap technology to do something that doesn't affect the central order book. So it seems like there's going to be layers of adoption here, and maybe not just a full, total transition to blockchain-run exchanges. Boxing legend Manny Pacquiao is shilling a new ICO that is based in Singapore and is aimed at giving celebrities the ability to create their own cryptocurrency coins that will be distributed through this exchange and will allow for the purchasing of celebrity-related content and merchandise that will be only accessible with that cryptocurrency. It's kind of interesting. We've certainly seen some projects in this realm, and the SEC is certainly not happy about this whole celebrity-driven ICO craze. Obviously, Manny Pacquiao is not an American citizen. He is, in fact, a citizen of the Philippines, so I don't think he cares that much about what the SEC thinks, but at the same time, it's just interesting to see more celebrity sort of influence on this whole cryptocurrency world. Honestly, it's probably not the best thing for bringing legitimacy to the world, seeing boxers promoting investments, but at the same time, I still just like that this is part of our culture. This is a growing aspect of our culture. It's a new funding mechanism. It's a new business world, and it's not just going to stop because people are scared or because people don't quite understand it. It's going to keep going because it's the future of all asset management. For those wondering which ICO Manny Pacquiao was shilling, it's this one, the Global Crypto Offering Exchange. A new exchange out of Gibraltar, which has recently provided some of the most accepting ICO regulations in Europe, or the most advanced at least, is saying that they have over 200 ICO projects ready to launch on their new exchange. GBX, or the Gibraltar Exchange, has been approached by approximately 200 applicants seeking to launch their ICOs through the GBX platform. That number would literally almost equal the 210 reported ICOs which successfully launched throughout the entirety of 2017. The GBX is further scaling up its regulatory team to cope with this demand, which they want to be able to ensure that 5-day turnaround with all ICO applications is maintained. So we'll keep you updated as the GBX tries to launch this incredibly profound ICO platform. And the new People's Bank of China governor has once praised Bitcoin as awe-inspiring. Yi Gang, who was unexpectedly appointed to serve as the new governor of the People's Bank of China on March 19th, could soften the institution's stance towards cryptocurrency, given his previously reported positive views on Bitcoin. According to reports from Chinese media, Yi spoke out about Bitcoin at the end of 2013 when he said the major cryptocurrency cannot be legally recognized by the PBOC in the near future. At the same time, he recognized the transactional potential of Bitcoin and added, ordinary people have the freedom to participate. So we understand that this governor understands Bitcoin and blockchain and the potential revolution that it contains within it. So we know that this PBOC governor has an idea of how revolutionary blockchain is and the Bitcoin whole experiment has been. So we're very excited to see how this might progress, as the PBOC, the real governing authority over the Chinese currency system, is a tremendous influence over what may or may not happen in the near to medium term on cryptocurrency. And finally, we have word that the Petro crypto was actually funded in collaboration with Russian interests as part of a plan to erode US sanctions and their grip over global trade. Time magazine reports that behind the scenes, the Petro was in fact a collaboration, a half-hidden joint venture between Venezuelan and Russian officials and businessmen whose aim was to erode the power of US sanctions. Essentially, Trump's ban argues that by investing in the Venezuelan Petro, you're circumventing existing sanctions that would disallow anyone from trading with the Venezuelan government. Based on Nicolas Maduro's reaction, calling it the kryptonite against Superman of the United States, it seems like this is very much so directly against the US hegemony and control over global trade. The Kremlin did not respond when asked by Time for comment. So while we are not exactly back in 1975 with Russia-US tensions at full-blown steam, it seems like there has been quite a bit of kowtowing and positioning globally going on between the United States and Russia, kind of similar to about a few decades ago. We'll keep you very much so up to date as we have more details about this story, as these old historical rivalries seem to invade the cryptocurrency space. Thanks for checking out our daily FUD TV update. If you enjoyed it, don't be afraid to smash that like button and comment below. Let us know what you thought of our reporting today. Are you invested in any of the coins we discussed? How do you feel about these sort of global dynamics that are shaping up between the Petro, Venezuela, Russia, and the United States? Kind of interesting stuff. Again, we make multiple cryptocurrency videos on this channel each and every day, so if you're an investor or an enthusiast in the space, subscribing to this channel is not a bad idea, as we do try to bring you the newest and truest in the space. I'm Elio Trades. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us, and we'll catch you very soon on the next episode of FUD TV.